Welcome to Women's Sports Weekly, where women's sports happen every day, but we talk about it once a week. I'm Carolyn.
And I'm Danielle. Women's Sports Weekly is a podcast where we discuss the latest news, explore interesting stories, and share our love for women's sports. Follow us on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok at Women's Sports Weekly Pod. Follow us and rate us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Send us an email at womensportsweeklypod@gmail.com, and we may feature your email on our Listeners Experience Zone, the Les.
Happy New Year's Eve! This week, we continue our Best of Women's Sports Weekly from 2025. This is part 2. Let's get into it.
From episode 54, where Frankie De La Creta talks about Caitlin Clark's astrological sign.
Also, I always try to, if I can find out people's Mars signs, I do, because Mars rules sports. And so one of my favorites here is Caitlin Clark is an Aries Mars, and an Aries Mars is hyper competitive and really explosive, and they wear that on their sleeve. And every time I read a thing about how Caitlin is competitive and Caitlin is annoyed with people who do the wrong thing, and I'm like, yeah, you keep telling me she's an Aries Mars, I know.
You're just confirming what I already know.
I
know. That's awesome. From episode 55, where we talk about Matthew McConaughey.
We have talked about celebrities showing up for women's college games across the board this year. Matthew McConaughey was there with his daughter. They kept panning to him. And I just love seeing big names at these games.
Yeah, it was awesome. Did you hear what he said after the game?
No.
He said he thought Texas played all right, all right, all right.
I love that. I gotta look that up.
He didn't actually say that.
He didn't?
No.
Why'd you do that?
You know that's from a movie?
Yeah, that's why it's like his signature thing.
Yeah.
So I thought you were being serious. I thought he was just like playing into his character.
No, he didn't actually say that.
Oh my gosh, I was gonna wonder why I didn't see that on the internet somewhere. That's so mean. From episode 59 at Unrivaled Practice.
We're going to give you like a little taste of what practice sounds like. And this was at a practice with vinyl. And Danielle and I are commentating a little bit. So let's get into it.
We are live at practice right now. And I can cry. I'm so excited.
Why do you want to cry?
I just really can't believe this is my life right now.
It's been so cool. I could sit at practice all day.
Same. And meeting the players has been so cool. Oh my God, there's Enrique. And they've
just walked
all been so nice and a lot bigger in person than I thought.
and a lot nicer than I thought.
Yes.
Not that I was expecting them not to be nice, but just pleasantly surprised.
It's been unreal so far and coolest thing ever.
Maybe truly an unrivaled weekend.
Yeah.
Nothing can beat it.
I know. Should have got married here. Celebrate our anniversary.
We're going to renew our vows here.
Okay, we're back. Danielle, do you still stand by the comment that you wish we got married at Unrivaled?
Maybe that's a little much, but
I say double down.
we should go back and do an anniversary trip at Unrivaled.
I said renew our vows. We'll have to do it.
You know where I would want to renew our vows? You know where the players get introduced and come out of the tunnel, and it's like that big Unrivaled, and it's like that laced. That's where we could stand on.
Yes.
As like a little stage.
So if you've watched Unrivaled, you hear the players get announced and they come out and then come onto a tiny stage and do some kind of pose or something like that. That is where Danielle wants to renew her vows. I love that.
Yep. I think we should do it in a few years down the line.
From episode 62, The Midshipman.
But head coach of the midshipmen, Cindy.
What was that?
Naval Academies, I know. I don't like their mascot. First of all, it should be the midship woman.
The midship
another
people?
word. True. But I just don't like when mascots just default to men.
Okay, but what did you just say? Because it
The
sounded like
midshipmen.
the mid-shit or ship.
Carolyn, you know the Naval Academy are on ships. So please.
The midshipman. Can we take some time on that?
What?
What is a midshipman?
I don't know.
Well, I do because I did some research.
Oh, God.
It's a student in training to become a naval officer. So everyone who goes to the Naval Academy is called a midshipman.
Okay.
Also, fun fact, their mascot is not a midshipman because what the heck is that? Their mascot is a billy goat. Guess what the goat's name is?
What?
Bill. Bill the goat.
Love it. Actually, I hate that. Should be a more gender neutral name.
Billa.
Villa.
Bills.
Anyways. From episode 64, when TCU beat Notre Dame in the Sweet 16.
Let's talk about the Sweet 16, then we'll get into the Elite 8. So, I hate to bring this up, Danielle.
I know, I can take this. I have been super salty.
Okay, before we get it, can I introduce what we're talking about?
Sure.
TCU played Notre Dame in the Sweet 16, and TCU beat Notre Dame 71-62. TCU was ranked second, and Notre Dame was ranked 3 in this region. And Danielle had some shit to say about it. And now they have lost. And I want to know, 1, are you okay? And 2, will you be making any apologies for the trash talking that you did?
I refuse to apologize, but I will own up to.
Hold on. The refusing to apologize. I'm going to look into the camera. This is what it's like. You're never going to get an apology.
I can say that I was wrong. And as soon as TCU was named number 2 and Notre Dame number 3, I literally at the 99er Sports Bar in front of people started booing at the TV.
You did.
And said it's crazy that TCU got ranked over Notre Dame. And now I have to eat my words because TCU has now beaten Notre Dame twice this season.
Mm-hmm.
Notre Dame did not show up that game. Hannah Hidalgo was so in her head, did not play well. I just feel like that was a huge loss for them. And Haley Van Lith, when you're looking at TCU, had one of the best games of her life.
Yep.
Looking at that game, I said to you, and because I didn't have a good feeling pretty early on, just the way things were going. I've said this before about Hannah Hidalgo. She is an unbelievable player. I think she gets super hyped and it's great when she's doing well and they're winning. I think that same energy kind of hurts her when she's not doing as well. Last year, it was the nose ring. The ref took her out and she couldn't get the nose ring out and she was super flustered, couldn't get her head out of that. This year, she just was not scoring. And I'm not saying it's all on Hannah. I'm just saying she is an incredible player. I just think that was a big factor in this game.
And she's the heartbeat of the team.
Yeah.
So they're matching her energy to a point. And her energy is always high, but sometimes it's frenetic and sometimes it's targeted. And it felt more frenetic.
Again, I am not bashing her by any means. I just think that played a big role. There's like a mental block for Notre Dame when it comes to getting past this Elite 8 stage. And it happened again. And no, I'm not okay. The post, if you're on our social media, Karen, you posted the picture of Hannah Hidalgo with her little green cowboy hat slumped in her seat at the post-game press, and you said, "This is Danielle right now." I literally almost shed tears watching this game.
Yeah, you said you were going to cry, and then you went directly to the fridge and took out a pint of ice cream and sat on the couch and finished it off.
Okay, can we just not say that this was a full pint of ice cream? There was like an eighth left of the pint.
I'm saying own it, Danielle.
I did not eat a whole pint of ice cream, people.
I think it's a pretty healthy coping mechanism.
I don't know about that.
From episode 66, where we discuss if women can have it all. So this is an email from Britt. Hi, friends. Before we get too far out from March Madness, there's a topic I'd love to see discussed covered more. We've got to talk about Kim Caldwell and look at the larger issue of sacrifices/choices high-level female coaches and women everywhere have faced when it comes to childbirth and work. I feel like it gets either glossed over or celebrated that Caldwell missed only a week of work after giving birth. And with her grant extension announced recently, one certainly understands the pressure she likely felt to return quickly. I don't know how she feels about it and don't mean to project, but women can't have it all. And my sense is that female basketball coaches, and again women everywhere, have been quietly dealing with this for decades and longer. Caldwell's case is just the latest, but paints a clear picture of why the fast return to work is so essential for their career success. And likely there's massive personal cost to that. I'm curious about Kim Mulkey, Pat Summitt, and even Becky Hammon in the W. I'm sure there's plenty more. Britt. So let's just give some context. So Kim Caldwell is the Tennessee women's basketball coach. She was pregnant during this past season. She had her baby in January and was back a week later to the applause of many people. I think moms get enough scrutiny as it is. So this discussion is not going to be around criticizing Kim's decision to come back, but I do want to talk about like the societal reaction of it and women in general having to make these decisions and the idea of having it all. So when she did come back, there was this strange response on social media where people were really applauding her and like, oh my God, this is so cool. This is great. And I'm like, she just had a baby a week ago. Like, I think that decision was probably very difficult for her to make. And there's so much nuance there. It was her first year as a head coach. She didn't have her contract extension yet. She got her contract extension in March. And I'm like, did she feel pressure that she had to return so that she could get that contract extension? Like, there's so much to that. And we've seen many new moms now, as we're in our mid-30s. You're in your early 30s. I'm now approaching my mid-30s. We've seen a lot of new moms very recently. And honestly, every new mom that we've seen in their first week of having a baby, it feels like a bomb has gone off.
Yeah.
And they are just trying to pick up the pieces and figure out which way is up. And like Britt mentioned, there is this expectation that women can do it all. And you're applauded if you do that, if you decide to come back to work early, if you have so many things going on and you're juggling it all. But I don't really think that's possible when people say, oh, she can have it all, women can have it all. I'm like, I don't think that's possible. There is a personal cost to that. And I think we need to talk about that a little bit more. We know that women are so resilient and really can take on a lot. But I do think that is a learned behavior. For most people, gone are the days where one person in the couple stays home and watches the kid and does the child rearing and the other person goes to work. Like, that is just not the economy that we live in anymore. And most people in relationships, both people have to work. And again, I'm not talking about Kim Caldwell in this situation. I'm saying like for most couples in America who decide to have children, you're both going back to work. And so there are so many mothers who need to do it all. And especially in straight relationships, there are so many women who are taking on the duties of going back to work, providing for their family financially, and then coming home and continuing that and doing all of the childcare duties and a lot of the household duties. We see some good men out there, but they are not as common as some of the others.
Yeah. And with all this, like, we've celebrated Kim Caldwell. We've celebrated athletes coming back and playing incredible after childbirth. And I guess I've not really thought about it from this perspective of, are we adding more pressure to the situation? I come from a place of, and in my head, I'm like, oh, this is what you want to do. Like, you want to be back and you're making it work and you're having a kid and you're still doing what you love. And maybe that's the case for some, and maybe there's more pressure for others. It is interesting. I do think it's different for everyone. I think some people want to have a kid and want to go right back to work. But that doesn't take away how difficult it is, no matter what the situation is.
And there's a personal cost to that, right? I think about for myself, I'll let you speak for yourself, but we're both pretty career driven and we like our work that we do. And so we don't have any kids yet, but I could imagine that if and when we do, that I will probably want to go back to work at some point. And so I'm not saying that every person who has a kid wants to stay home with their kid. I don't think that's true either.
Yeah.
I do think that there is just a personal cost to it. Like, you can't be 100% at work and 100% at home.
No.
You cannot. There's not enough percentages. So something has to give somewhere. And I do think that falls on the woman so much to do that.
I agree.
To give something. So if they're going to be 100% at work, then they're not going to be at home. And if they are then making the decision to be like, I'm going to focus on raising my kids, then work is going to take a hit. And I don't think that's discussed enough. We're like, she's doing everything. And I'm like, she's probably not. She probably has a ton of help. And I bet goes home and it feels so torn. And this is totally me projecting. But Kim Caldwell has said, I felt bad not being near my team. And I'm sure when she's with her team, she's like, I hope my child's okay. Like that's very real. And yeah, I just don't think you can have it all.
From episode 69, New Jersey accents.
I don't know why Colorado does this. They say Salida instead of Salida.
And Louisville instead of Louisville.
Yeah, there's just a lot.
Colorado.
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 We say Colorado.
But We also have been told multiple times that people hear our New Jersey accents on this podcast.
I get called out for my Jersey accent literally all the time. Every time I meet someone new, and if they have a certain name that the vowels are spelled out a certain way, I say it and they're like, "Are you from the East Coast?" I'm like, "What? How do you know that?"
Yes, like the name Sarah.
Sarah.
We say Sarah, and other people say Sarah.
And people say I say your name like Carolyn.
Yes. I think we've talked about this before, but I say my name is Carolyn. And in New Jersey, my friends, when they spell out my name shortened, it's C-A-R, like car, but Car. But my friends from South Carolina spell out my name when they shorten it. They put Care, like Care Bear, like in their heads. And it's what they call me. So it's totally fine. They call me Carolyn, but I would never say that. I say Carolyn.
Yeah, so it's different where you're from.
From episode 74, making pasta. Have you decided what you would like me to do if Seattle takes the series versus Atlanta?
Yes.
Ooh, I don't know what you're about to say.
I just thought of this because I was thinking I would still love my foot massage, but I think I want a 3-course meal.
Oh my God. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, or like appetizer, dinner, dessert?
Cocktail.
Ooh.
Dinner, dessert.
Wow.
And I'm really going to try hard not to micromanage. I'm just going to let you do your thing and I'm going to enjoy it.
Just for the record, I was making some pasta yesterday and I had a pot on to boil, and Danielle came into the kitchen, which she wasn't invited in there, and she was like, "Do you think that pot's big enough?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, because I got the pot and I put water in it." She was like, "I don't think it is." And I was like, "Do whatever you need to do." She was like, "No, I'm not going to micromanage." And then she's just staring at the pot. And then she eventually gets a bigger pot and changes where the water is.
For the record, the pasta would have never fit in that pot. So I was just saving you a headache 10 minutes down the road.
All right. Well, we'll see what happens in this C&D cup.
From episode 75, sports betting.
So doing this podcast is very interesting because once I tell people we have a women's sports podcast, you sometimes just get unsolicited advice. But also recently I had someone found out that I really liked women's sports, and he was a guy, and he was like, "You know, if you want men to watch more women's sports," and I'm like, never said that. But sure, keep going with your sentence. "If you want men to watch women's sports, there really needs to be more like sports lines for them, because some things you can't bet on in women's sports." And I'm like, my response was, I'm actually really worried about the state of men betting on not just women's sports, but all sports in general. Like, I don't think it's a great thing to do. I think the amount of betting that is happening among young men is really scary and concerning. And also the reason why there aren't always lines for sports is because the people who make the lines aren't knowledgeable enough about women's sports.
Interesting.
So if we want more lines, which I'm like, do we want more betting lines? I don't know. What is your feeling about that? Is it a way to get more people to watch women's sports?
It's hard because I'm not in that mindset. I don't bet on sports in general. So for me, that doesn't draw me in. But I guess if that draws people into sports in general, I think about fantasy football, and a lot of guys will watch more games because they're invested in players from different teams. So maybe that's like kind of the draw there. But it's just hard for me as a non-bettor to truly understand that.
I want to talk about this a little bit more because I also think that betting, so it's interesting, like it's a group of predominantly young men betting who are at risk of losing money, and then they're betting on women's sports. And this group of men also has a tendency to have higher harassment rates of people online. And we're going to get into this, but how men speak to women, especially women's basketball players online, is like very different than how they will speak and abuse men's basketball players, although it does happen. Yeah. But it's just like a lot more targeted and sexualized and disgusting. So all of these things, I'm like, do we need more sports betting lines? And yes, I want more people to watch women's sports, always. I don't think we need to do any convincing for people to watch women's sports at this point. Like, the product is out there. All we need is the product to be shown more and people will watch. So I don't think that it's like a thing that we personally need to do. I think it's like more of a systemic thing that needs to happen. And honestly, I would really like for more women to be watching women's sports. I think that is the market that we can grow more, because sometimes, and I'm not saying all men, but sometimes men can make things worse for women. Are you not going to agree with that? My brother-in-law says that sometimes I'm a little patronizing. So I want to make this clear. Some, not all men. Some men make it worse, right?
Yeah.
What's your hesitation? Let's talk about it.
You said some men, so I just don't want to fall in the bucket of grouping all men together, because we know a lot of really good men who do not do that. But
we know that we have 10% of our listeners are men who listen to this podcast.
Yeah.
So we know.
So we're not talking about you.
Yes. From episode 80, when we join the Sports and Shenanigans podcast.
You mentioned that they seem very generous with your time. Something that I've worked in men's leagues, I work in a women's league now, and something that I always compare and talk about the difference is how the athletes, what type of time do they give media? How it's great to hear that they were generous with their time for you. Do you feel like that is something that women have to do as the female athlete in the leagues that are still trying to grow? I know that you mentioned this was your first kind of big media opportunity, but it's just interesting to think about that. How did you think the athletes took to you being female media members wanting to cover them?
We talked about this a little bit when we covered Unrivaled, but we were like, yeah, they need to be generous with their time, because that's the expectation of women in general, that women are generous and they're kind. And so there is that double-edged sword. And I want to acknowledge that, because I think why women are so successful and why we're seeing them skyrocket is because they do all the extra things. Like they build up their social media and they take extra time and they form relationships. And so I wish it was a little bit less than that. We're thankful as fans it was like that, but we're also like, the men don't have to do this. They don't have to take all the time in the world to anybody who comes up to them. And that's really what they did. I will say, when we introduced ourselves as partners together, wives, and as fans first, they were so excited, because I do also think a lot of women get media people who attend their games and don't know a lot about them, or will mispronounce their name, or will not know their stats. And with us, you're not going to get that, because we're way too nervous. We're going to get kicked out. So we're always going to make sure we're saying your name right and that we have you have your stats down. So there is that piece too that I wish women didn't have to do so much of. But I also am seeing now, with this rise in women's sports, that it's what makes them extra successful, is because they do also have that marketing strategy in the back of their head that they're constantly moving.
It's a very valid point. And the perspective is just, that's what blows my mind. I'm just like, I've seen both sides, and again, wish it didn't have to be that way. But the fact that female athletes, they have a lot on their shoulders. They're expected to do all of it and look beautiful and do all the things, right?
And take care of their kids. On top of it.
By the way, yeah. No, it's insane.
From episode 84, a fart.
Did you know this was coming?
No.
Do you know whose fart it is?
Hopefully yours.
Here we go.
Is that a joke? Wow. The rugby. I can't believe you just did that.
From episode 83, How Well We Know Each Other. How well do you know your podcast co-host and wife? Are you nervous?
No. Are you nervous?
No.
Okay, let's see.
I'm hoping to get all of them right.
Same.
Okay, so I'll start here. I'm going to ask you 5 questions,
okay,
and we'll see how well you know your podcast.
And we did not do we did not talk about this before. We did not do any checks with these questions. So this is truly just how well do we know each other?
Yes.
All right.
First question. What were my high school and college mascots?
Easy. Midland Park Panthers.
Yep.
And South Carolina Gamecocks.
Oh, yes. That was an easy one. I gave you an easy one to start.
That was easy. That was a meatball.
Okay. What is my undergraduate degree in, and what is my graduate degree in?
Public health.
Public health for both. That was a trick question. Good job. I am a public health girly. If you want to talk about public health, please, we can nerd out together.
How is that a trick question? You don't think I knew that?
I don't know. I thought maybe I could trip you up. When I was a kid, what did I want to be when I grew up?
This one's a little harder. What did you want to be?
I'll accept 2 answers.
Is professional athlete one of them?
No.
What did you want to be when you grew up? Let me think about this. I actually can't remember. A doctor? Oh, no. I do know. It's a lawyer.
A lawyer. So
okay, sorry. That took me a second.
Both would have been right. because when I was younger, my mom always told me you should be a lawyer.
Yes,
like
yes,
you should
that's
do
what
that.
I was thinking.
And so that stuck with me for a little bit. And then I did when I was really young, I wanted to be a vet, which is interesting because I wasn't around animals a lot as a kid.
Vet? I actually did not know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
But you got it right. All right. Fourth
Making me
question. You're doing
sweat.
great. If I could play any professional sport, what would it be? And this is not based on any actual ability.
I think basketball.
No.
Really?
Do you want to try again? Listen, I would play any professional sport and I would love to be in the team environment in basketball. So I get what you're coming from, but it's more of an individual sport.
Oh, tennis.
Tennis.
Yeah.
Tennis
Duh.
would have been.
Okay.
Tennis would have been it.
But
But
I'm not doing as well as I thought I would.
okay. And the last question. This is a tough one. So I'm giving you options. What is one of my professional goals that I've shared with you before? Is it A, to make $500,000 in a year, B, to host a TED Talk, or C, to interview Serena Williams?
TED Talk.
TED Talk. You're
You
right.
always talk about doing a TED Talk.
I know I threw in the money there though, because I was like, Danielle knows that one of my goals in life is to make a lot of money.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe she'll choose that. But yeah, I do want to host a TED Talk. However, TED Talks are kind of out. I haven't seen a ton of them anymore. So may need to refine those goals. But for a while, I was like, my goal in life is to just do a TED Talk on something that I'm super passionate about.
All right. That was harder than I thought it would be. I
think
didn't
you were-
do super well.
No, you were 4 for 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
It just took me a second for some of them.
Yes. All right. Let's get into your questions. Okay. Now I'm nervous.
All right. First one. What was the first concert I've ever attended and how old was I?
Okay. So the first concert you attended was Cher with your mom. How old were you?
That's a tough one. It's kind of a bonus.
I'm going to say you were between 10 and 12. So I'm going to split the difference.
What grade? Because I actually don't know what age I was. Like, what grade was I in?
Were you like in 4th or 5th grade?
4th grade.
Okay. 4th grade.
At least that's what I remember.
What do you remember about the concert?
It's hard. I feel like I could picture it, but I just know my mom is obsessed with Cher and it was just like a big deal to her and I went. So it's a fun fact. And what inspired this question is this weekend at Lindsay's wedding, our friend Carrie Ann likes to perform Cher at weddings. So she had a wig and people were calling her Sherry Ann instead of Carrie Ann. So she performed Believe at the wedding and I was like, ooh, time to bring up this question again.
That is really good, Sherry Ann. Oh,
Yes.
man. Okay.
All right, second question. If I didn't play basketball in college, what sport would have I played?
It's got to be soccer.
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
Basketball has always been my favorite sport, but I was a goalie in soccer and I don't know. I think I could have done well as a goalie. So that would have been my second option for sport.
I was a little nervous because I know you had a lot of fun with the softball team, but I know that your ability was probably more leaning towards soccer.
Yep. All right. When I was a kid, what did I want to be when I grew up? And I put in parentheses in this question, besides a WNBA player, I would have loved to be a WNBA player. But what was it that I wanted to be?
It has to be vet.
Yes. Which I was surprised when you said vet because I didn't know that.
I know.
I thought I wanted to be a vet, and then one of our dogs growing up had this infection on her stomach, and I can't deal with like blood and cuts. I was just so grossed out by it, and my mom was so excited when she thought I was going to be a vet, and she knew in that moment I would never be a vet because my stomach couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think my being a vet was just like, that's what little kids want to be. I don't know. I didn't have any basis for it. I didn't have pets growing up. My mom famously hates animals.
Yeah.
So
All right, 2 more. What were the names, speaking of dogs growing up, what were the names of my 2 yellow labs growing up?
I know you think I don't know this, but I do.
You do?
Yeah. Coco and Kahlua.
Wow. Good job.
I think I've got...
You're doing really well on
I know.
this.
And I'm really proud of myself. And your family has historically a ton of animals.
Yeah, so I'm surprised you knew those names.
And they all have really cute names. Munchkin, Coconut, Arizona, Zoe. Those were the dogs when I first got in.
All right.
The cat names.
Yeah, I can't
There's
even
too many.
remember them all. All right, last one. How many varsity letters did I have in high school for sports?
This is hard. Okay. I don't think you played... Oh, shoot. I know you played varsity basketball your freshman year. I'm looking at you to see if... I know you didn't play varsity softball your freshman year. And I'm torn if you played varsity soccer your freshman year. I think you may have gotten pulled up, but I don't know if you actually got a varsity letter for it.
What's your final answer?
So I have to think this through. So I'm going to say 1 varsity letter your freshman year, and then I'm going to say 3 your sophomore, which would bring us to 4, 3 your junior, which would bring us to 7, and then 3 your senior, which would bring us to 10. So I'm going to say 10 varsity letters.
I'm really disappointed in you for this one. I started as a soccer goalie all 4 years. I started as a freshman. I beat out the senior goalie that year and started from day 1.
Okay, sorry.
So it was not brought up. I, myself, and one other girl were the only 2 freshmen who made varsity.
Got it.
So
it's 11?
Yes. 11. Softball is what I got pulled up in at the end of the year, but I didn't play, so it wasn't enough to get me a varsity letter. And then sophomore through senior year, I started for softball. Okay. So I had 11. But soccer and basketball, I started from day 1.
I'm sorry.
So that's offensive. And Carolyn, the reason you should know this is because you were a year older than me, and my freshman year is when we lost to you in the counties and I was the goalie.
Oh, okay. Yes. So my small town did beat Danielle's.
And it was in golden goal. Mm-hmm. And the freshman on your team scored, and I remember the chants. It still haunts me. She's a freshman. And I just remember thinking in my head, so am I. And I was just so mad that we lost that game. From episode 87, what we would do with $5 million. What do you think you would do or buy if you just won $5 million?
Ooh, it's got to be a house. We've talked about this before. It's always got to be real estate, right?
Yeah.
Or you know what? I'm getting all of Naomi Osaka's Labubus.
Oh my gosh. Of course.
What are you getting?
My initial thought was like, I want to invest it because you know me, whenever I get money, I'm like, okay, how much can we save of this?
Okay, what would be something stupid?
But if I were to buy something, I have plenty of houses I would want. Plenty of locations I would want to buy houses.
Definitely. But what about something stupid?
Oh, I don't know. You know, it takes me so long to buy things, and a stupid thing, like maybe a really nice car.
Ooh, what kind? You're so not a car gal.
I mean, I want either a 4Runner,
okay,
or a Tacoma.
Oh my gosh, dream big, a Toyota.
You know me.
I love that so much. One day we're gonna have a Toyota sponsorship, Danielle. I'm putting it into the air now, where you can get your 4Runner or Toyota Tacoma.
I love that.
From episode 85, nicknames. In college softball, on the softball team, sometimes they called me CB, which are my initials. This is really embarrassing. So when we split up into things, we would have a practice plan for the day, and it would list everyone by initial just to keep it short. And whenever my coach would get to CB, she'd be like, CB, CB. Like, she would not remember who I was. And I'm like, yes, I am on this team. I know I don't play much. And so CB kind of just stuck because she didn't know who CB was.
Oh, that's sad. From episode 89, Fat Bears. If you have not heard Carolyn speak about her obsession with bears, we'll let her do that right now.
How long do I have?
30 seconds.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So it's Fat Bear Week. Do you know what Fat Bear Week is, Danielle?
I only know it because of you. It's before the bears go into hibernation.
That is correct. And in Katmai National Park in Alaska, they have live bear cameras. And I am obsessed with the live bear cameras. I've always been obsessed with Fat Bear Week. I participate every year. They have the fattest bears go head to head. And the bears don't know they're in a challenge, but social media knows they're in a challenge, and you vote for the fattest bear. So they take a picture of the bear right when it comes out of hibernation, and then they take a picture of the bear around this time when it's about to head into hibernation, and you can see the photos, and then you vote for the fattest bear, and there's a bracket style. So this is kind of sporty, which is why I wanted to talk about it. But I've gotten everyone involved, run club, people from work. I will tell anyone and everyone about these bears because this year, especially in Alaska, the salmon have been very plentiful. So the bears are very fat this year. You've been watching a little bit too.
I've only watched once when you put your phone in my face with the video on. I've never pulled it up on my own.
I know, but you liked it.
Sure.
You did like it. So Fat Bear Week is happening right now. And I just think it's such a good way to get involved in a national park and to provide some national parks some love. So like I mentioned, it's Katmai National Park in Alaska. I have some bears that I'm always pulling for. So usually I'm always pulling for Grazer. She's a female bear. She is a fierce mom. Some of the other male bears will try to go after her kids and she defends them so fiercely. Every year I vote for Grazer, but this year I'm thinking I might switch up my vote.
Well, shouldn't you judge them by the pictures and not prematurely decide who you're voting for?
That's true, but some of them have really great stories. Grazer's always got a good story. There's a bear named Chunk who
we don't like Chunk.
We don't remember that. Chunk. He's very aggressive, but he came out this year. Half of his jaw was like hanging off of him, and he still managed to eat a ton of fish. So now we feel bad for Chunk. It's just like anything. Once you get to know someone a little bit more, you can't hate them, even when they're super horrible.
Didn't he kill Grazer's child?
So he did.
Cub.
He killed a cub last year. But he's doing a lot better this year. I think he's, he got put into his place now that his jaw is hanging out. However, there's a bear named 602. All of the bears have numbers. This bear in particular, he's a male. I love him because he goes into the water and he just lays on his back with his belly up and he just doesn't care. So I might be voting for 602. And then there's also 901, who is a lady. She's a big, chunky lady, and I think she might have a really good chance. And I am making a petition right now to change our podcast to a Fat Bear Week podcast.
Absolutely not.
Well, thank you for this time. I think I was over 30 seconds, but I really appreciate it. From episode 91, Nafisa Collier calls out Cathy Engelbert.
So last week, we addressed Nafisa Collier's press conference about the comments made by Commissioner Cathy Engelbert. And Cathy Engelbert had a press conference before Game 1 on Friday night. And of course, she started off, she was just trying to keep it strictly to talking about the finals. But of course, the media were ready to get their teeth in her. And they did ask some questions about what Nafisa had to say.
Cathy Engelbert said that there was an inaccuracy in what Nafisa said, but she didn't go into detail of what wasn't true. What
inaccuracy? She blatantly said, I obviously didn't say that.
She did end up saying that. So when they asked about Caitlin Clark and the comments made about Caitlin Clark, she said, obviously, I did not make those comments.
And this was after several other questions had been asked where she tried to deflect. And when it came to that, she clearly wanted these questions to stop and just went the route of, obviously, I didn't say it, which, ooh, Cathy, you're just digging yourself in a bigger hole.
I know. And like deflecting about how much pain this has caused her family. It's a little frustrating to me because she was the person who fed into the Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark rivalry, said that it was great for the game. Meanwhile, people were attacking Angel Reese for the most disgusting things, layered in so much racism, so much misogyny. And it's like, well, Angel Reese has a family too, and you didn't really think about that when you were doing that. And her comments to Nafisa were very egotistical, and it felt egotistical here. You just keep putting that foot in your mouth. You keep digging that hole deeper. I don't know. And it was rough.
Yeah, and she said during the press conference, Nafisa and I are going to meet. So that was blatantly said on the press conference, like they had a meeting set up. And then not too long after that, after her comments, sources were blowing up saying Nafisa canceled the meeting with Cathy. And it's like, yeah, you just said, obviously I didn't say that. You're making Nafisa look like a liar. Why would she meet with you?
Exactly. And like, again, exactly what Nafisa said, taking accountability. You are not taking accountability. No one has trust that they have your back, and you make everything about yourself. And I know it has been hard for your family. I'm sure this has been the worst week of your life. You said those things. Maybe you were like 3 glasses of Chardonnay deep. That's what I picture in my head. But like, you have to take accountability for it when you mess up. That's what your kids need to see. You take accountability when you mess up and say the wrong thing, and then say, I'm going to repair those relationships. We're going to get through this transformative CBA, and then you'll never have to see me again, which is probably what's going to happen.
You mentioned Chardonnay. Are you trying to call her Chardonnay Cathy?
Chardonnay Shelley.
Chardonnay Cathy. Anyways, it is hard to watch. It's hard to watch on all ends. We want to see the players happy. We want a commissioner that respects the players and actually shows it.
Or like, who's her PR? Let me be the PR.
As you're saying that, I was literally just going to say you should be your head of PR.
Oh man, call me Cathy. I love old white women. I help my mom all the time.
Jeez. From episode 95, our basement home improvement project.
Remember last week when I said that I didn't have any mental breakdowns over the basement?
Well, the time has come.
Multiple.
We're learning as we go. We're doing the best we can. Framing a basement might be the hardest thing I've ever done. And we were not ready to get to this stage. We were thrown into the framing because we didn't realize that in order for the plumber to do the work he had to do, part of the basement had to be framed. So whether we wanted to or not, we started to learn how to frame walls.
In 5 hours time with no tools and no experience. And it had to get done before the plumber came back the following day.
Well, we got the tools. It's just a matter of learning how to use certain tools and learning how to frame a wall. It's not for the weak.
Someone send help because I'm looking at the camera. I cannot do this anymore.
Yes, you can. You have been doing it. We have been doing it.
I just feel like the amount of time that we spend trying to figure it out, like to me, time is money. And we have spent so much time. And I'm like, a professional could literally do this in 2 days. And we have spent hours and hours just looking at each other like, I have no idea how to do this.
Phil's character.
No. Again, I'm about to have a mental breakdown on this podcast. I mean, I'm that close.
No, don't do it. We've already had enough.
Both our nervous systems are just wrecked. I need so much slow yoga in order to just be somewhat okay.
Yeah, I have to say, Sunday I thought would be easier after we were forced to learn in the middle of the week last week. It was not easier, and it did take a long time for my nervous system to come down. Just the stress of trying to do it and feeling so stupid when trying to do these things. It's not a fun feeling.
And I've said this to you before. I think that's a huge trigger for me. Like, I hate feeling dumb, and I feel so dumb the entire time we're doing the basement, on top of just all of the physical labor. Like the physical stuff I'm fine with, but the not knowing what I'm doing and it just not working, a hammer gun, is that what it's called?
A nail gun.
A nail gun just not working. Yeah, someone check to see if we're okay, because I'm not okay.
You were getting really annoyed with me because I couldn't get the nails to go in the wall with the nail gun.
I'm really gonna cry.
And then I was fed up with you talking about it. I was ready to move to the drill, but you wanted to see for yourself if the nail gun was working or if it was a user error. And Carolyn takes the nail gun, puts it up to the frame, and almost flew backwards off the steps.
I'm crying.
And you were like, whoa, that just recoiled. I didn't know it was going to do that. And I was like, Carolyn, I've been trying to use this thing for the last 3 hours. This is why I said I want to use the drill now, but I needed you to try for yourself.
Why won't the nail gun work? On every YouTube video, the guy's just standing there with the nail gun going around. From episode 97, periods. Do you have any specific memories of playing poorly and being like, this is definitely because of my period?
I remember thinking that, but I don't have a very specific memory.
Wouldn't your dad ask you questions?
He would just say, is it that time of the month? Like in high school, if I played poorly, and I'd be like, yes, it is. So mad, especially as a high school kid. Your hormones are flying everywhere, and then you're dealing with that shit. But he was very nice about it. He was just like, is it that time of the month? I'd be like, shaking my head. I love you, Dad. I know it was all love.
I have this clear memory of being at basketball practice in high school, and my sister was 4 years older than I was. So it was during the winter time. She was home from college on winter break, and she would come to basketball practice and help out. And we were practicing shot fakes one day, and I was PMSing so badly I could not get the shot fake down. And she was like, Carolyn, you just go like this and then you do this. And I was like, got it. And then my body just could not do the motion, and then I would just had tears coming down my face, and she was like, are you crying? I was like, yeah, I can't do the shot fake. She was like, do you have your period? I was like, I'm about to get it. She was like, this is horrible. And so yeah, periods are real.
Yeah. From episode 99, Carolyn's favorite UCLA basketball player.
I need to talk about my favorite player, though, on UCLA.
Yeah, go for it.
Here we go. Here comes a rant. Megan Grant on UCLA. She sits all the way at the end of the bench. I freaking love her. She plays softball for UCLA, and she's a baller at softball, All-American, first team All-American. She comes and she plays basketball. She got in this game. She did not score. She missed a layup that was so open. However,
it was a putback. It wasn't a layup, first of all. It was a putback. She had someone under her that she tripped under after the girl just smacked her head against the floor. So give her a little more credit. She should have scored it. But she also sat the bench for the whole 40 minutes, came in at the last 30 seconds.
That's right. She scored her first 2 points against North Carolina a little while back. She danced after she scored. She did not get back on defense. She is my favorite player in all of NCAA basketball right now. If UCLA wins a national championship, it's because of Megan Grant being on their team.
And that is the most ridiculous statement I've ever heard. Sorry, Megan Grant. Maybe if you win a softball championship, we can say that, but no.
I stand by it. Clip it. That's it for this week. We will see you next week on Women's Sports Weekly. In the meantime, watch women's sports and share the podcast with your friends. Rate and subscribe to the pod on Spotify, Apple, and YouTube. Thanks for joining us.